I'm Carol Schmidt, and when we purchased our home in Greenfield, it had right-hand security installed already, and the previous owners have been very happy with the service. And so we did a little bit of research, and the rates were extremely competitive, and actually what was more impressive to me was the customer service. And so we continued the contract and continued with our current system and have been very happy with it. About a year and a half ago, I was reading the newsletter, which I always read because I think it's really informative and it always tells me about new services and the additional services that WH Security and the electric company have. And I noticed that there were many new options available for the new system. So I contacted the company or the co-op, and they indicated that we would probably need to upgrade our system. So for a minor installation cost and an upgrade to the system, we were able to add, in addition to our medical, our fire, and our door security, a sump pump basket monitor, a carbon monoxide monitor, as well as a cold air sensor for frozen pipes and those kinds of things in the winter. And so we were really pleased, and the most exciting part about that was, even though there was a minor cost to the installation, our monthly monitoring charge stayed exactly the same. So one of the things that was important to us is a sump pump in our sump basket. Our home is positioned on a hill, and we accumulate a tremendous amount of snow above us, and our house is somewhat positioned right in between that hill where the snow accumulates and an overflow water area. So we've almost lost, in fact, our basement, or we had wet carpet one time because we didn't have a pump in there when we first purchased the home. And the spring came and the snow melted and the water came through, and part of the basement started to flood just right up to where the carpet was. So that became important. And then knowing that we're not always here, if our power went out or we had a sump pump failure, it was critical that we would have that monitored. And so now we have the confidence of having the sensor in there for high water, that we will always be notified, or we can have a neighbor notified if there's an issue if we're not here. As I talked earlier, there was a small installation fee for some of the different monitors, and you always hope that you never have to use them. But believe it or not, earlier this year in February of 2009, it was 3 a.m. in the morning, and in February you think it's cold and you won't have to worry about a sump pump. And suddenly an alarm went off and it woke us, and we went to the panel and it told us that our high water sensor was alerting us that there was an issue. And soon after that, the dispatcher called from WH Security and asked if we were aware of the issue, and sure enough, our sump pump had had a failure. And so the water was starting to rise in our basket, and we never would have anticipated that in February. So we got that functioning properly, and everything ran okay. And for about 2 days, the sump pump actually ran periodically for the next couple of days, and I would be concerned, because we don't go into our furnace room on a daily basis, that we may not have noticed that there was a failure for at least a day, and I'm sure that by the time we noticed, we would have been walking on squishy carpet. So we were really relieved, and obviously that one incident alone, whether we would have made a claim with the insurance company or not, saved us a tremendous amount of expense and hassle with carpet and maybe wood and those kinds of things that would have been ruined or at least damaged, and probably kept our insurance rates lower. For $20 a month, you have peace of mind that so many things are being monitored. To me, especially in this day and age, customer service is something that you never quite know if it's going to be good service or not. Everything is about speed and efficiency, and frankly, most businesses see customers as the difficult part of their business, even though that's the revenue generating portion. And I don't know if it's because it's a co-op or if it's because this is their culture and their vision and their mission, but I have always had outstanding customer service with WH Security. People have always been helpful. When they've said they were going to take a message and get back to me, they've always gotten back to me. People have been friendly and patient, and so I've never ever had a bad experience with customer service with WH Security. One of the things that I found actually really reassuring with WH Security has been the response time. So unfortunately, there have been a couple of times when we've inadvertently opened a door after the security was turned on for the evening, maybe one of the doors that isn't an access door, and it immediately sends an alarm off to the security dispatcher as well as sets an alarm off here in the house. And in a very short order, the phone will be ringing, and there'll always be a very pleasant dispatcher on the other line checking to make sure everything's okay. And they'll ask for my name and my passphrase, and it's just good to know that they're always there and they're always responsive, and that's always been a consistent part of their service.